I can't answer for what the Senate will do, but $20 million is it's a lot of money, 20 million with an M. But anybody who says that that's too much money to spend for the safety and well-being of our babies, I just don't agree with, period. That's not, and this was a very crafted number. It wasn't, well, what's the most we can spend? It's what is the most effective we can spend.
And understand, in the piece of legislation, there is a provision that says that the FDA has to report to the House Appropriations and the Senate Appropriations Committee every week on the utilization of the funding so that we know what is happening and that they are accountable for the use of that fund.
One more question, yes, ma'am.
Why is the WIC bill not on the schedule until Thursday? Isn't that more important than naming another post office earlier in the week?
Well, we have to have a regular order. Right now, the committee has the workforce development legislation on the floor of the House, which is very important to us. We went to rules today to bring the WIC bill to the floor, and of course it will have to go through the Senate as well, so it's not holding anything up. The Senate will be dealing, my hope and understanding is, with the Ukraine legislation the next couple of days.
One quick question about timing. The FDA has said that with their new guidelines on importation, they'll start to see improvements on the shelves in the next couple months. How quickly do you think the 28 million supplemental could yield results?
Well, yes, let me address that in this way. And I read the guidance from the FDA, and while I believe it is a good step in trying to move forward, I am disappointed in this, that we will look at both foreign and domestic facilities that are not FDA approved. I believe we ought to be doing business with FDA approved facilities, and I believe that would be a much quicker process, because if they are not FDA approved, as I pointed out before, you have to do the investigation, you have to visit, you have to do all of those things. So if we could go, and we have 7 overseas facilities at the moment. They're in France, in Germany, in the Netherlands, in Ireland, in Denmark. So there are several where my view is that we could go, it's FDA approved, that product could be immediately brought back to the U.S. So in a much more timely way. I agree with you. We can't wait 2 months to have this happen.
Is that what your bill would help speed up the inspection?
No, yes, it would do that, and the bill also would allow for the ability to get the product from an FDA already approved facility. We have facilities that have passed inspections. Let's go there first, and then let's get a product back and get it on the shelves as quickly as we can.
So sorry, one last question. If your bill is passed, how quickly do you think that American supermarkets and stores will start to see the results?
Well, my hope is that, look, we think we got to pass it in the House, which we will do. We'll pass it we have to see about the Senate, and so as quickly as that process. And I wouldn't understand why anyone would not want to move as quickly as we can with giving people the wherewithal to get the products to bring it back here. Because this is not a Democratic issue or a Republican issue. This is about the risk and the life of babies in this country.
If I just may say, there are a couple things happening. One is that we want to know, is there, as has been told to us, that there is product in our country. It's just a question of where it is and where it needs to be taken to. We've said, let's use the vaccine, shall we say, model of transferring to localities, if that's possible, because the FDA is not a transportation agency, and nor is the Department of Agriculture. But there are, that's what we're looking into. Are they private sector facilities that can move that? What is that? How much is that? Could be 80%. If so, we would have stuff on the shelf right away. But we don't know, and that's what we're finding out, A. B, remember, during COVID, it was almost impossible for the FDA to travel to foreign countries to inspect plants. So that has been a setback. I'm not just talking about baby food formula. I'm talking about other sources of FDA-approved products that would come to the United States. You know that, Frank. They were not able to travel or able to get into these plants because of COVID. So that is a setback. So we want it as soon as possible, right now. And why isn't it? And how much can we get fast, safely? The president keeps saying safely. Is Australia approved or not?
No.
They have supply. We have to
have
see if
supply.
they're
We have
approved.
to see if they're
So it's not just a question of, oh, it's there, let's buy it, let's bring it in. Safety is very important in all of that. And our having our bill on Wednesday is not holding anything up because it will still have to pass the Senate, which is occupied happily now on, not happily, but thank God, on Ukraine right now so that they can do that tomorrow and then be on their schedule shortly thereafter. We would hope that this will be, in terms of the WIC bill, Congresswoman Johanna Hayes and Debbie Madam Chair Stabenow's bill, hopefully that would be overwhelmingly bipartisan. We'll see where this goes. We have to go. Thank you so much.